I left my honeymoon because my husband and his boyfriend kept leaving me and my girlfriend out. I recently married my husband. We're part of a polycule. My husband and I have been together for 7 years, and he's been with his boyfriend for the last 3. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years. She and my husband are very close, more so a platonic bond, though, and she and his boyfriend are casually friendly, not particularly close. Now here's the part that matters: my husband and his boyfriend go way back. They've been best friends since childhood, grew up together, had what you might call an almost relationship in their early 20s. It didn't work out back then, life's timing and different goals, but they remained close, and when they reconnected later. After my husband and I had already been together a while, it evolved into a romantic relationship again. I've always respected that bond and accepted that their connection predates mine with my husband. So when we got married, we thought a group honeymoon made sense, a 3-week trip with all 4 of us. Not as a honeymoon with some tag-alongs or anything like that, but as a way to celebrate our whole web of love. We rented a villa with 4 rooms, planned a mix of group activities, alone time, and free days, and talked beforehand about how this wasn't just our moment, but one to honor our broader connection. But almost right away, it became clear that my husband and his boyfriend saw this trip differently. They were out the door most mornings without a word, going off for hours wine tastings, kayaking, long walks through town without checking in or inviting us. Once they even went to a cooking class all 4 of us had expressed interest in, and only told us about it after. Their explanation was that they didn't want to miss the registration window and that we should have been awake if we wanted to do it with them. After a while, it stopped feeling like miscommunication and started feeling like quiet prioritization, like they were defaulting to each other and everything else was optional. My girlfriend and I are obviously very close, so we made the best of it. We did our own excursions, wandered the markets, went out to eat dinner at fancy restaurants, but it started feeling less like a shared celebration and more like we'd gotten a pity invite to their vacation. It also just didn't feel good doing that on our own, when we were supposed to be sharing this experience. And then the jokes started. His boyfriend laughing, but not really, called it our first real honeymoon, and my husband responded, "We've waited long enough, haven't we?" That hit harder than I expected. Not because I'm jealous of their connection, but because I suddenly realized this trip was not about what we'd said it would be. When I brought it up gently, my husband waved it off, said I was overanalyzing everything and that we've all got our own routines. When I pushed a little more, he said, "You and girlfriend have been vibing nonstop. Can't we do the same?" Which felt like a deflection more than a genuine reply. The most frustrating part? They weren't being cruel, just incredibly self-involved. They weren't making digs or having dramatic fights with us. They were just repeatedly acting as though their bond was the emotional center of the trip, and the rest of us could orbit around that as needed. After 10 days of this, my girlfriend and I decided we'd had enough. We left a note, kind, not accusatory, saying we loved them, but this wasn't the experience we'd all agreed on. We got a different flight and flew home. Since then, my husband has been cold and furious. He said I came out of nowhere with this and bailed instead of talking it out, and left him to clean up the mess. His boyfriend sent me a message calling my decision immature and controlling and said I turned a meaningful trip into a power play. Neither of them has asked how we felt or acknowledged the months of planning that went into the version of the trip we were told we were all having. My best friend thinks I still should have stayed, not just because she thinks it's better to just make everyone talk, but I wasted money going home way earlier than I was supposed to with my girlfriend.